Hello everyone, and this is Maradius, and we are continuing my 100% run of Super Mario 3D Land. Now, not Land, World, what am I saying? So, obviously, it's just more cleanup. We're not playing as Luigi anymore, he's done. But, yeah. Alright, so let's take a quick look. So, I've done some levels here and there. But, well, let's just get right into it. Oh, auto scroll time. Just gotta sit and wait. Hopefully I don't die a bunch like I did trying to get all the green stars. But I can't really see that happening. Hello, Luke Lima. Good to see you as always. Yeah, we're just going through the auto scroll. Not the most interesting stage to run several times over, but that's what you gotta do sometimes. Now, I know I said in a previous stream that the Toad Brigade doesn't really show up after Galaxy 2, but I realize now that information's just wrong. They do show up, it's just that Captain Toad gets so much more focus than them, it's easy to forget that they're still around and they're still following them. Like, they show up in Odyssey, and they show up even in 3D World, but only in the Switch port, I think. So obviously you don't see them in this version, so easy to forget that they're here sometimes. Well, not here because they're not in this version, but still, point still stands. Also, fun fact, something I learned recently. So, let's see, cleared that already. So now we need to clear this. So you know, Lubba in Super Mario Galaxy 2? Apparently Lubba is actually a woman. They really made it seem like she was a guy, but I guess not. That was interesting to find out. They only really made it clear outside of Japan and some other regions with the Switch re-release. So, yeah. Not sure how to feel about that information. I can definitely see it, though. Or at least, like, I saw it described as, like, kind of like an aunt. Maybe a little eccentric. And I can totally see that. Get rid of these Magikoopas. But yeah, that made the voice I used during my Galaxy 2 playthrough not the most fitting voice, but it's fine. After all, they did state something different originally, so can you really blame me? Let's go through here. I really do wonder how long doing Champions Road several times over is going to take me, because that is definitely something that will affect how many streams it takes to beat this game. I'm imagining it'll only take like 2 more streams, including this one, but really hard to say. If it does end up only being 2 more streams, then it will be funny that despite having to clear every level 5 times in this game, there's still other games that would have been a much longer playthrough. I imagine when I get to Super Mario Odyssey, that is also going to just take quite some time to 100%. So we'll have to wait and see. I don't know, maybe I've seen enough like Odyssey content over the years that I'm able to just remember most of the stuff. Or not, who knows? It's really hard to say. Did I do this level as Mario? I know I did it as Peach. I did not. Okay. Also, I went and double checked with 3D Land whether or not I needed to do all levels as Mario and Luigi, and it looks like the answer is yes. They just really like making you do all the levels as all playable characters, huh? I had to do it in Galaxy 1. You had to do it in 3D Land and now 3D World. One slight problem with having multiple playable characters is when they say, okay, now do everything as those all characters. Which is, I mean, I guess like really only matters if you have to, if they probably only do it, I almost died there. If there's a noticeable difference when playing as different characters. Which, like, there often is between Mario and Luigi, so it's still totally fair to do that. It's a bit ridiculous with this game, since I don't think the characters are really that different that it warrants having to clear with all of them. But at least there are differences in characters. Now, I think if Super Mario Bros. Wonder for 100% made you clear as all characters, that would be ridiculous. Especially since there's like so many characters in the first place. And most of them pretty much don't have any differences. With the exception of stuff like Yoshi's and Nabbit playing differently than the others. But that's more of a difficulty mode rather than a slightly different way of playing the same game. But I don't know. Yeah, you can't tap that on the screen, just do it directly, so that'll slow us down just a little bit. Let's avoid... I don't even remember what these things are called. Oh, well, it's not really relevant. Oh, let's just continue on our way. Avoid the Fizlets. Don't care about the red coins, we just want to reach the end. If all games had 100% with all characters, you can see the pain on some games. Yeah, there's definitely several games where that would be, but that's, of course, ones with a really big roster. Even then, some of them do have some form of complete with all characters. But usually that's because they have simpler modes. Like, for example, Smash Bros. They want you to complete Classic mode and do All-Stars mode with all characters. But like, they don't expect you to go through the story mode with all characters. Like doing World of Light and Smash Bros. Ultimate with all characters. Now that would just be a pain, and honestly, kind of stupid. I don't think there would be much value in that. But like, of course, with smaller stuff like classic mode, there is genuine value to doing it a bunch. Like missing something, or well, okay, no, I'm just missing the. Oh, I already did the castle. Okay, now we just have to do the side thing. Then we're done with World 3. It's Mario. Now we can switch to doing it's Peach. Now, of course, like, the funny thing is that the clear with all characters thing, the fact that you can just go through the whole level by yourself and then connect 3 controllers to swap to the other characters, and then that counts as clearing it with 4 characters. It's just, it's a bit funny, but it's also a bit oof. While I would love to be able to do that, I do not have the controllers for it, so we're not going to. And like, while I do have the controllers to do 2 at least, I think it kind of defeats the point from the single player perspective. Is there really a point to it with single player? I don't know, but we're not going to worry about it. Good thing we don't need the gold flags anymore. Since I don't have much other topic to talk about at the moment. So I think that, like, like I said, like, there's pretty much only value to having to clear with multiple characters if there's a noticeable difference between characters. And like Smash Bros, for example, there is quite a difference between characters, so it does actually matter quite a bit. It's also, like, for most of the thing, it's just do a certain set of challenges, and that's fine. But platformers, not always the best. I'm moving a bit fast with Peach. I think there's some way to, like, conserve momentum as you, or build up momentum as you go along to make things faster. And with how Peach is just slower in general than the other characters, it's kind of needed, but who knows. Not my fastest time for that level. So maybe she's just, yeah, I don't know. Back to the auto-scroller. I don't think we're really being this faster. Yeah, levels like this do kind of suck for having to do re-clears, because no matter how you do it, you can't really go faster. We still gotta do this level 2 more times, by the way. Well, I could do things just to get a little bit of extra time save. Like, it's just not worth it when I could be causing all sorts of time loss in the process. I can go there a little faster, which doesn't hurt. Go over here. Go up here. Wait a little bit. I don't want it to, like, kill me for being off screen. Come on, auto scroll a little bit faster. I went through all that section decently fast, and what did it get me? Nothing. That's what it got me. Just waiting. Just waiting. There we go. Now we can end this level. Good. Okay, on to the next one. Now, you want to know a game that, at least from what I heard of, really does have kind of basically require you to play all characters for 100%, and it has a really high amount of characters? Balatro. Since I think you do have, if you want to get like true 100%, it involves something ridiculous, like using all of the Jokers on like the hardest difficulty, using all the different decks, and it's just a crazy amount. And probably one reason why I'm never going to play Balatro is because I would not be able to get 100% that game without spending a ludicrous amount of time that I don't have. I look at that kind of 100% stuff, and I'm like, I don't know about that. Hey, kind of hard to keep momentum on a moving platform like that. Binding of Isaac Rebirth has a lot of characters. Yeah, that like roguelikes in general, it's just so hard to do 100% of those. Especially because on top of doing that, you have to get really, really, really good, and you're gonna have lots of runs that are just failed. So it's just brutal. Like, one roguelike that I played was Enter the Gungeon. It's a good game. And I definitely did a lot, but I don't think I ever really got to the the secret 8th floor, I think. One where you fought the Lich or something. And doing that on like all characters, I don't even know if there is a reward for doing that on all characters. I know there is a reward for doing with each character being the main dungeon or gungeon, sorry. But yeah, it is fun. I'm just not that great at it. So hard. Trying to do 100% of that game would just, and it's so RNG dependent too. I think that's also part of it. So like, well, skill is obviously something, unless you have to get like really good to be able to win with anything. And I just don't have the time to get that kind of skill, I don't think. That's again probably just one reason why I'm probably not really going to be playing roguelikes on stream, just because 100% on those is just brutal. Too much RNG for me to really devote full stream time to. Whereas something like Champions Road is not very RNG dependent. And I can definitely get through it if I put enough time and effort. Dead Cells is super hard on later difficulties, but sure, like, does it feel kind of so like maybe. So the thing is that like when it comes to difficulty levels, I'm generally going to play a game and try to 100% on one difficulty. I'm not really going to try multiple difficulties. Especially like depending on the game, because it can be boring. It doesn't really add much. And like the hardest difficulties, it's just a bit oof. I did this as level as Peach, right? Yeah. Part of the problem, though, of course, with Souls games is that it's a very big, usually a big time investment, unless you're just insanely good, which I am not, for the record. So I do kind of want to limit how many different Souls-likes I play, just because I don't want to be stuck playing only the same Souls-likes over and over again. And a lot, no, maybe I haven't played a whole lot, so maybe this is a bit presumptuous of me to say, but a lot of Souls-like games don't really hit like the From Software games do. I almost got myself killed there. So I don't know. Maybe I'll play some of those, but it is really hard to say. To be honest, I don't even really know much about Dead Cells other than it's getting a collaboration with Terraria. It's about the extent of my knowledge of it. But at least for the current moment, the only roguelike, or sorry, not roguelike, Souls-like I plan on playing on stream is giving Hollow Knight and Silksong a try, maybe. And then maybe some of the From Software games, if there's enough demand for it. The only thing is, for those games, I would probably want to have a big enough community that they could select what kind of build I go with, just to make things more interesting. And so it's not quite a repeat of my original playthroughs. With Souls games, I just have a very standard setup I like to do. Just going with an ultra great sword and just obliterate stuff. Usually have a shield too, but it depends on the game. Now, of course, not all Souls games are like that. Go for the fat roll build. No, I'm not doing fat roll. I may have a build that would normally fat roll, but I get enough stats that it's not a fat roll. But I think it would also just be interesting to try some different play styles for these games than the ones I normally do. Also, another auto scroll. We can get this because why not? It doesn't really do anything for us. other than smashing a lot of boxes. Is this really an unskippable cutscene? Come on. And there we go. Now let's go beat up Hisstocrat again. Man, I would have liked to have made a little more progress in this stream than I did. I was hoping that I had some pretty high estimations, hoping I could do like a world in 30 minutes or something, but I think that was a bit too much of a hope. We're not even done with one world yet. We still gotta do World 3 2 more times. This could take more than 2 streams. Which is unfortunate. But we'll get through it. Do I get a power-up for this? Is there any power-ups here, or is it just... Okay, good. Yeah, because this one definitely very much wants you using the Super Bell. I will admit, like, I don't actually know, like, what Souls-like games are actually, like, really good quality. Because, like, there's obviously a ton of imitators out there, and just because it's a Souls-like doesn't mean it would be fun to play. And not all Souls-likes have good game design, for that matter. But yeah, I do like the Soulsborne formula, but it needs to be a good game for me to invest a lot of time into it. Just mainly because it's asking a lot by being really difficult. So if it doesn't really have a good payoff, and there's not a lot of enjoyment, then like I don't want to put up with all that time spent trying to learn bosses if it's not enjoyable. Which is kind of more or less why I've mostly just stuck to From Software games. Because I know they're always going to have quality. I mean, maybe it's debatable depending on who you ask, but I feel like they're all really solid games. I should have grabbed the checkpoint just to be safe. That's fine. And what else should I yap about while we read clear stages? Especially as we go back to the auto scroll level. There's 2 in this world. It's just so. You know what I really wonder? If anyone's made Kaizo Dark Souls. That would be something that's maybe interesting to see. But if it was like a Kaizo in the true sense, then you'd have to learn like special clips. They were not clips, but skips. All sorts of movement. Anything can be Kaizo if it's moddable enough. I mean, yeah, but there's a certain point where it's not really a good Kaizo. Interesting in any way. I guess, like, in general, Mario games tend to not be, like, that hard. They're also some of the most popular platformers, so people do make Kaizo stuff with these games because so many people play them. Whereas, like, you don't really see Kaizo with a lot of other games. It's really only platformers you see Kaizo with. Mainly because that's the easiest thing to make into a Kaizo, I think. Because having tight platforming tricks, that makes something... That's something you can do to make something more Kaizo-like. So, like, but yeah, in general, it's just a lot easier to make Kaizo for platformers than it is for other stuff. Like, well, I'm sure someone could definitely make a Kaizo Dark Souls. I just don't think... They'd probably have trouble making it actually interesting. No, like, a lot of Kaizo has stuff that is interesting, but really tedious to do. But I do kind of struggle to think, like, how would someone make Kaizo Dark Souls? I guess, like, one thing you could do is follow in the footsteps of what, give me a moment. What Kaizo stuff does, and change boss fights by changing up the arena. And do that to make it more difficult. But at the same time, like, a game with enough, customizability, the more customizability you have, the harder it is to make a Kaizo for it, if you think about it. Like, let's say you try to make Kaizo Dark Souls, and then someone says, okay, I'm going to do a magical build, and then it just completely trivializes it, even though it's stupidly insane to do it with a melee build, for example. So there's so much more thinking that you have to put into it. So I feel like people would just end up making things that are just boring, because what else are they going to do? Maybe a code to make enemies take less magic damage? I mean, yeah, but like they could obviously just change it so that enemies have higher magic resistance, but like that doesn't make it more interesting. That's just more trying to force you into a specific playstyle, which then in a way makes it pretty much impossibly difficult for people who really like magic, but a lot more trivial for people who are really good at the melee playstyle. And maybe there's some tricks that are like really well known for like really good melee players, but ranged and magical like have their own separate tricks that you're just not aware of that trivialize it or something. And so maybe your Kaizo hack is made with certain techniques in mind that a good chunk of people aren't going to be aware of. And there's some tricks that you aren't aware of that can easily cheat it and stuff like that. It just feels like it would be so much more difficult to actually make a good Kaizo. I guess like a good example. I know that there's a Kaizo Pikmin 2. And it's very debatable if it does anything really interesting. It just does a lot of enemy spam, and that's kind of it. You just have to be pretty decently good at the game, and then you can get through it. Like even I'm sure I could get through Kaizo Pikmin 2, and it wouldn't be that bad. Probably wouldn't enjoy it, but I could get through it a lot easier than a lot of other Kaizo stuff, because it's just not built for a Kaizo. At least not with the tools that they have. If you're able to make your own like enemies and hazards and all that, you could probably make something a lot more interesting. And like to some degree you can do that, but you're quite limited. And most people who set out to make a Kaizo hack aren't going to put in that much effort to make their own enemies and whatnot. Now maybe you could make an interesting Kaizo Dark Souls mod by making it so that it very heavily encourages swapping playstyles frequently, instead of trying to assume that you're going to have one playstyle the whole way through. I don't know. It's something interesting to think about. I know I definitely don't have the time to make any kind of Kaizo hack. But there's definitely a lot of interesting ideas people put into Kaizo stuff. Sometimes. Of course, other times they put in the bare minimum. And there's just no real enjoyment to it. Gosh, 40 minutes into the stream and we're still not done with World 3. Oh. Okay, I was kind of hoping I could do something there to speed things up. And no, I can't. Let's do things the long, normal way. Thanks, game. Thanks. Now we can't skip this part because we don't have the Super Bell. Go figure. Can I get another one here? No, you got nothing for me? Okay, I see how it is. Unfortunate. Alright, just kill them this time. Okay. Probably power up here. No? Any power-ups? No? Jeez. Oh yeah, if you want to power up, you're gonna have to get the red coins. We're not bothering. We'll just get a power up where they're less stingy with it. Nice dodge on my part. And not nice jump on my part. And time to do that whole section again. Alright, let's try to actually be careful, not be too hasty. There we go. Okay, let's just keep going at it. Back to another auto scroll. Going back to the talk about Kaizo. So one thing I definitely feel like is with platforming games, I always enjoyed watching 3D Kaizo over 2D Kaizo. But that's mainly because 3D Kaizo often ends up being very incomprehensible to look at. And sure, there's a lot of tricks that are incomprehensible in 3D, but I feel like in general it's something that 2D struggles with more than 3D does. So, I don't know. I guess it may be just that you can do a lot more interesting stuff in 3D, I think. Whereas in 2D, it ends up being you do a lot of the same tricks. Or maybe not. I'm not that familiar. Okay, oof. People like to make I Want to Be the Guy even harder. Well, that is true. I mean, the fact that I was able to beat I Want to Be the Guy shows that it obviously wasn't too hard. But the thing about I Want to Be the Guy is that it's not limited by the same things that most Kaizos are. since it's its own game, they can create new mechanics and stuff on the fly. Whereas, say, Kaizo New Super Mario Bros., for example. I don't even know if there is a Kaizo Super Mario Bros. I don't know if anyone actually cares enough to make a Kaizo of those. There probably is. I just never looked into it, but those games are limited by the engine they're in, and most people aren't really going to make their own stuff for it. And it may be also just straight up impossible. Whereas a game made from scratch-ish, you can do a lot more with. You can easily add new mechanics, new systems, all sorts of things. And you can be a lot more creative with that than you can something that you just making a ROM hack of. Now, of course, at the same time, there's something to be said that introducing custom stuff and whatnot makes a ROM hack less interesting because you're not building with the framework of the game. Or for a Kaizo ROM hack, I mean. And it's not necessarily testing your skills with the game because you're creating new skills that are needed for something. I don't know. Did that a little slower than I should have, but it's fine. Alright, just one more character to get through with World 3. Move on to World 4. Hopefully it won't take anywhere near as long. World 3 is taking. Yep, just need to do all stages as Rosalina. This is going to take a while. Oh boy. Really looked at how fast Worlds 1 and 2 went, and I just assumed everything would be so much better. So wrong. Now, of course, like the biggest reason why I don't touch Kaizo hacks myself is the urge to complete them would be strong, and the ability to do so would be very, very little. Maybe one day, but who knows. Back to this auto scroll again. Auto scrolls really are just the bane of going fast. I mean, maybe if you are skilled enough, you can get through this, and that you won't die if you go off screen to the right. I don't actually know whether you do or not. Maybe you're fine, so long as you know you stay in the geometry. But No way I'm going to be able to do that, and I'm not going to bother. Why did I do that? Man, I don't like auto-scrollers. More time down the drain. It's fine. It's fine. Why? Why did I make the same mistake? I've done this stage how many times? 4. I really shouldn't be making mistakes like that. Ugh, the fatigue's getting to me, but we'll get through it. I do wonder what the next 3D Mario game is going to be. Are they going to go for another 3D, 2D game like Land and World? Are they going to do another collectathon like the other 3D Mario games? If they do a collectathon, what kind of collectathon will it be? Because Odyssey, of course, was very, very different compared to previous games, which are more level-based. You wonder why when Rosalina gets the cat purr up, she becomes a black cat instead of a cyan cat? That is a good question. I feel like it probably has something to do with the fact that they wanted to... It's because Blue Toad exists, I'm pretty sure. And they have a lot less identifying features in the cat forms, I think. And they obviously still do, but they make color a big part of it, and it would maybe be a little bit difficult to differentiate between for some people between Rosalina and Toad. Of course, that's just speculation on my part. I don't really know. The only ones who really know are the devs. But anyways, as I was saying, I really do wonder what they're going to do next for the next 3D Mario game. I know I think some people are hoping for Galaxy 3 because all the love that Galaxy's been getting lately, especially with the Super Mario Galaxy movie and then the Galaxy 1 and 2 ports. But I don't know. I mean, like, whatever it is, I'm sure I'll love it. And Galaxy 3, I would love a lot, I'm sure. Whether I'd like it as much as 1 or 2 remains to be seen. It really depends on what formula they would do that affects my opinion of that. But that's just my opinion. I just hope if they do end up doing a Galaxy 3, which I don't know if they will. They don't... Galaxy 2 was a bit of a exception because they don't really do multiple 3D Mario games in the same setting. Okay, that was a bad part. I'm playing on my part. Yep, the other 3D Mario games can get sequels. I mean, it would be interesting, but... Super Mario 64 doesn't really need a sequel. But that's because it's not really got enough going. You could consider a lot of the other 3D Mario games to be Super Mario 64 sequel, and in essence they kind of are. I don't think its formula and theming and all that is really unique enough to warrant a sequel. That is specifically Super Mario 64 sequel as opposed to other things. Whereas, like, Super Mario Sunshine obviously could have a sequel. You get more FLUDD, you get more tropical theming, probably. Super Mario Galaxy, besides the fact that it did get a sequel, it could get another sequel More of the spin jump, more of that style of gameplay, all the weird gravity stuff. You could do all that. 3D World is pretty much a sequel to 3D Land. There are some differences. Like, this is obviously has more emphasis on 4-player play rather than just single player, which is what 3D Land was. But fundamentally, it is pretty close to a sequel, all things considered. Now, Odyssey could probably... I guess it is interesting with Odyssey that they didn't release a sequel for that. Because it definitely would have done really well, I'm pretty sure. Odyssey is a great game. But at the same time... Well, I don't know. The theming of Odyssey doesn't really need a sequel, because it's a bit generic. But the gameplay style and how it differs from other 3D Mario games, it could get a sequel.
Wonderful.
But I can definitely understand an aversion to having sequels for some of these games. Because you can get cases like the new Super Mario Bros. Games, which are pretty good, but like, sure many would consider a lot of them to be flop. They do definitely get very samey. And that's definitely why Super Mario Bros. Wonder was such a breath of fresh air. Now, like, granted, like, it's partially because they just didn't innovate a lot for those games. And they chose a lot of the same themes and just kept reusing them again and again and again, but still. The elephant power-up was quite a surprise, I must say. Well, I mean, like, it's interesting, but, like, it's not so much the power-ups that really define whether a game is interesting or not. So, that's not even, like, the part that really made Wonder so great. Because they could have easily just released New Super Mario Bros. Switch. Don't look at Mario Bros. U Deluxe. And they could have done that, and they could have had the elephant fruit in that game, and I don't think it really would have made it very interesting. I mean, like, I'm sure it'd be fun, because, like I said, this New Super Mario games are still fun, even if they're a bit derivative. But they're not going to, like, really stand out compared to other games. So it definitely wasn't the elephant power-up that made it. But even if, like, you took out the wonder effects, which were great, by the way, the level design was so varied, and they didn't. Well, they obviously did have some stock areas and stuff. They did a whole lot with that just made it really stand out compared to other 2D Mario games. And that really helped a lot in making it feel fresh and unique. And then you add in other stuff on top of that, and it's just great. Wonder is definitely one of my favorite. Gosh dang it! It's definitely one of my favorite 2D Mario games. It's not my favorite 2D platformer. That belongs to Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, but it's very high up there. Gosh, I wonder when we're gonna get another Donkey Kong Country game. Those games are so good. And of course, they have top-tier music. But, man, it's definitely been quite some time since Tropical Freeze's release. They obviously didn't release any for the Switch. Of course, maybe Bonanza's overshadowed any chance of Donkey Kong Country coming back for a while. Which would be unfortunate, but it is what it is. One can hope, at least. Three more levels, and we can be truly fully done with World 3. This is going to take much longer than I was hoping. Just unfortunate, man. Firefire's not the best, but it's something. Okay, avoiding them. I went and hit it again. Good job, me. Not going as fast as I should be. That's you know, actually, let me try something. Yeah, we can just do that. No need to hop on this thing, bring it over, and then hit the thing and go all the way back. Rosalina really does not need a lot of the power-ups in this game. It just makes her main gimmick just disappear. Alright, let's try to do this without dying like I did with Toad. Be quite handy. And there we go. Alright, auto scroll time again. Like, these have, like, great aesthetics and theming, but again, it's just a bit rough having to go through it multiple times. I guess Rosalina is a bit slower too, huh? Fine. It just take a little bit longer to get through this. Let me see. So the World 4 boss is Boss Brolder. World 5 is King Ka-thunk. World 6, I think it goes back to being, I'm just gonna do that. You get rid of the Super Leaf. World 6, it goes back to another, convoy level. World 7 is Bowser in his car again. And there is the train, and then there's Bowser Land, So there's really only like one more, no, okay, pretty much 2 more boss auto-scroll levels. Not counting, arguably, Great Tower Bowser Land being auto-scroll. There's not like a whole lot more auto-scrolls left in the... Well, there is a whole lot of auto-scrolls left. What am I talking about? There's the 2 hexagonal Skyway ones in the bonus worlds. That's gonna suck. There's obviously another train. There's another convoy. Ugh. There's some other ones that I don't remember off the top of my head, but... Yeah, they're really slowing things down with that. Well, we're almost done with World 3. Just need to be up Hisstocrat again, and then hopefully we can make a lot faster progress in World 4. Or maybe I'm just being delusional. Ugh. I'm just thinking about, like, we're gonna have to beat up Hisstocrat 8 more times. Because we got Hisstocrat Returns, and then we got Boss Blitz. Oh boy. Really changes perspective on things, thinking like, oh, I'm gonna have to fight this guy 20 more times, and it's just, oh. Boss of Brolder, we're gonna have to fight 12 more times? Maybe a little less. Gonna get a bit tired of some of these bosses by the end of this, I can tell you that much. But I said I'd do 100%, so we're doing 100%. Alright, World 3 done. Let me just verify that World 3 is done. Yep, alright, let's take a quick look at World 4. So, need to do most levels as most people. Figures. But, we're done with World 3. That took forever. This is probably not going to be much better, because it only gets harder, and levels get longer, and... Okay, I need to get better at using the Super Bell. So I can actually speed things up. Thank you. Just cheese this level. Noted that that's not the best way to approach that. Thanks for the additional Super Bell. Guess we just gotta bounce on this guy. Gosh dang it, it's another auto-scroller. Okay, I wanted to climb up, but Mario just said, no, you're bouncing on an ant trooper, so go screw yourself. Well, that took longer than I wanted, but we're getting there. Oh, World 4 is not really going to be much faster, is it? At least with like some of the bonus worlds, I won't have to do them again as Rosalina because I already did them, but... Oh boy. Much as I want to, we're not gambling. Nothing to be gained by doing that. Alright, I want to check something with this. I really need to do better and avoid losing power-ups because I'm bad. I'm not doing a good job of that. But, yeah. Take this route. Now, is the secret platform still here, or no? Because I know there was a secret platform in the... oh, okay, I know you can get up there. I know there's a warp pipe. But I don't know... it's probably not worth the effort to try and get up there. Yeah, it's so close to the end that just go for the end, like a normal person. Well, that level went decently fast. All right, what's next? Brolder Blockade. Would be easier if I had the cat. Or the Super Bell. We're just going to do that because I don't want to get Super Bell in my inventory replaced. That's done. On to the next. Keep block Skyway. This should be fine. Does this just give double cherries and no actual power-ups? Okay. Once again, the beat blocks just screw me over. I mean, I know I was just being greedy here, but still. Okay, so I can't make that jump. Good to know. Good to know. I really need to stop wasting time on this level. Just need to wait. Be patient. Really need to avoid getting hit, but okay. I almost blindly got hit by that boomerang. That would have been bad. It's funny there, you know, both bonk one after the other. But yeah, I need to not do that. I'll use the double cherry here, but only... You know what? We're not getting that extra hit point. The other Mario just gets left behind. Sucks to suck, I guess. What? Oh, why do I keep doing this to myself? It's not a hard level. Mode 4 is going to take a while, isn't it? Okay, move on from this level. For now. We gotta click 2 more times. Now we gotta do this one. Can I get a Super Bell, please? No? Are you sure I can't get a Super Bell? Gosh dang, this game is so stingy with power-ups. Oh, it's probably gonna give me a Fire Flower instead or something. Screw that. I want Super Bell. I want to go fast. Fine. So I like to keep telling myself. Well, we're getting through it. Can't speedrun these stages as much as I would like to. At least not within my ability to do so. Just trying to do the speedrun strats would probably get me killed, and then we just wasted more time. Alright, mystery house stuff. Super Bell would be nice, but we're not going to get that, are we? Keep it straight. Let's not get hit by enemies along the way. You can long jump through boxes and break them that way? I didn't realize. Probably should have been keeping count of how much we'd gotten, but fine. No! Jeez, that almost screwed me over because it just did not give me enough momentum. I think this is the one. No, that's not the last one. I don't know, man. Maybe this one? No. I'm really bad at keeping track, in case you couldn't tell. No! Oh! Let's try that again. Let's actually keep counting this time. 1. 2. 3. 'Good job, me. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. All right, there we go. All right, on to the next one. Obviously, wait, no, I already did this as Mario. I'm still gonna jump off just so I reset my state, my hit points. I didn't mean to use that. All right, well, it's fine. All right. We got Fibro's hideout, don't we? Yep, we sure do. We're gonna shoot each other with fireballs again. Yep, they're still killing each other. Go figure. Give me a moment. Oh, let's just keep at it. Onto the castle already, though, aren't we? That's something, at least. Alright, let's see. Yeah, I don't think there's an intermission this time. I don't think I've done this as Mario yet. Let's hope I didn't just randomly forget at an inconvenient time. That would suck. Let's just be careful to... Fine there, because we got Super L back. Alright, let's go beat up Boss Brolder. Okay, lost cat power up immediately. Good job, me. Good job. Come on, spawn your minions. Alright, good job me taking unnecessary damage to this guy. There we go. Okay. I better not see Mario's thing on that flag. Nope, it's just Luigi. Good. So with that, World 4 done as Mario. That still took a while. But we're getting there. Yeah, let me just double check I'm not missing anything. Come on, work with me. There we go. Yep, that's everything is Mario. Do it as Peach.
Hello. Let's go.
Okay, so first and foremost, just jump off. Get ourselves a Super Bell, and let's... That works. Go fast, hopefully. And then we have this section, which is not fast at all. We can speed things up a little bit, but ultimately not really. Just keep bouncing. Good enough for me. That works. Let's try not to lose Super Bell, because it slows things down a bit when we don't have it, I think. Of course, I am quite prone to getting hit by Piranha Creepers. So who knows? You gotta be kidding me. I just get myself killed by Ugh. Why do I do this to myself, man? Grab a fire flower, I guess. Not really that bad of a level, I'm just plain bad. We just... No? No? Oh, come on! Man, when you play suboptimally, this game becomes much harder. Well, that'll speed us up a little bit. Not enough, though. Easier with cat power up. We don't have it because. Gosh, I really need something else to yap about. Let me think. I guess I could just talk about other random games I would be interested in maybe doing on stream at some point. Because there are some out there, but like I don't want to like set plans in motion this or set plans in stone this far in advance, you know? Especially since I've already got a few things on the docket for what's coming up next. So just gotta be careful, I guess. But I know the Lego games would probably be pretty fun to do 100%. They're very, very much designed to be 100%able. And of course, they're just fun in general, so they got that going for them. There's... Look at me. There are several like Wii games that I do remember that I remember fondly enough that I would consider playing them on stream. There was the Boom Blocks series of games. At least I don't think that would be too difficult to 100%. I mean, it may be a bit tedious, but I'm pretty sure it'd be fun. Both it and its sequel. Is Xenoblade hard to 100%? It's tedious, I'd definitely say. At least Xenoblade 1 and 3, especially 3. 3 is a lot more tedious than 1. I don't really know about 2, but I imagine that's also pretty tedious. The thing is with like some RPGs is that it's just a lot of tedium involved. Because there's all you gotta do a lot of grinding. I mean, I guess it really does depend on like your definition of what really counts as 100%. It's still better than some games, than open world games, where it's just like a more billion things, and it's just. There's also like the nature of RPGs just having like a lot of areas, a lot of side quests, and like while it's definitely enjoyable, it will take forever, especially if you read all the dialogue, which I will do. Which it's fine for like a casual playthrough, but I don't think it really fits that much on stream. But I don't know. I mean, like at some point, if there's a big enough, I have a big enough following, and people really want to see it, I could. But for now, probably going to avoid it. But I would absolutely do Xenoblade over, say, Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. No contest. Or over a game like Power World. Power World's just not fun. The open world does a lot in making me not like it, but still. But for the record, I have 100%ed Xenoblade 1, got all the achievements for it. I 100% in Xenoblade 3 as well. I'm pretty sure. And obviously, I've done the DLC for both. Well, I guess you could maybe I didn't do fully on the challenge mode arenas for those, because that's kind of just a pain to get all the timing done for that. And like, I don't know, that's just not really enjoyable to go and do in 100% setting. I don't know. All right, let's do this again. Let's not fail the last point, last green star because of stupidity, please. 1. Gosh dang it. You know, I'll take the bell. Just make it go faster, too. Three. 4. 5. 6. I will answer that in a moment. 7. 8. 9. 10. Okay. All right, so no, I've not played Metal Gear. Stealth or shooter games, I don't know really. I know it's got a lot of stealth. I don't know if it's also technically a shooter game. They just don't interest me as much as some other games. They definitely would not be a good fit for stream. Especially if I have a stream that's just like 99% cutscene. Because they have some really long cutscenes in those games sometimes. And like, I'm sure it's good and all, but I just don't think it makes the best experience for stream. And I just don't want to go through that for a stream. It's just not that interesting. When like Metal Gear Solid 4, yeah, Yeah. At that point, it's less me. It would be less me streaming a game and more me hosting Metal Gear Solid themed movie night. And 4-hour cutscene. Yeah, I know there's really long cutscenes and just no. There's also a good chance that could get copyright strike because it's mostly just their hard worked on cutscene. And I don't know what they have copyright stuff checking for. And that's just not fun for anybody. Back to the high-res hideout. Let's see. As I was saying, so Boombox would be just probably be a real blast to play through. It's been a long time since I played it. I don't know if there's multiplayer required stuff though. I'd probably have to cut that out of a 100% run. I don't know. It's just been so long since I played the game. I don't really remember all the details for 100%. But it definitely would be like fun to try. Now another niche game from the Wii era that would be fun to play probably. There's this puzzle game I think called Zack and Wiki or something. A pirate-themed game where you do all sorts of random stuff. Mainly just solving puzzles. That might be fun to 100%. I don't think I actually beat it originally. I got very far to like the very final boss, but I don't think I ever actually beat it. I probably could beat it easily now, but 100% of that game would be a bit difficult because I know there's some like secret treasures in that game. They're really hard to find. I only like ever found one when I played it originally when I was really young, so it's I don't know. Probably like maybe something I'd try at some point, but I could see it being fun. This. No, don't kill your minions like that. Alright, let's just hurry up and beat this guy. And obviously, there's also like a lot of platformers and stuff I could play. Granted, like, I don't actually have a big variety of platformers. That is a slight problem. But well, it's fine. I mean, like, obviously, there's the Donkey Kong Country series. That'd probably be. I'd enjoy doing 100% of that. Let's see. I mean, there's obviously New Super Mario Bros. I could probably do that. For 3, well, for I guess another 2D series. Well, that I'd like to try. I mean, I guess I could do Kirby. Kirby would be enjoyable for the most part. It would really kind of depend on the Kirby game. At some point, I really do need to get to Kirby in the Forgotten Land. For some reason, I just never got to that. I imagine I did play Kirby Star Allies, and that game kind of was mid. Good job, me. Let's go the long way around. But, like, Kirby's Return to Dreamland, Kirby Triple Deluxe, Kirby Planet Robobot, all great bangers of games that would be real great to play. Obviously, there's Amazing Mirror and Superstar, probably others too, but those are the main ones I'm thinking of. All those games would be really good to play on stream, probably. I mean, I do want to, at some point... Okay, I bonked there where I shouldn't have. Okay. But, at some point, I definitely want to have a stream where I play Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, and I have to 100% it in one stream. I think that would be something that would be really fun to do. Because back in the day, or well, I'd say back in the day, but even like kind of somewhat recently, it's my kind of go-to game when the power goes out. What am I doing? And so something I would often do is just take out my Game Boy Advance, bring out the batteries, and then just play that for until I manage to beat the game. 100%. It is a really good game to 100%. I do hope to make another Kirby game in this style of Amazing Mirror, though. They just haven't in a while. Well, I say haven't in a while, but... I know, going back on the discussion of 100%, am I... No, I'm not small. Maybe Star Allies. Even though that was a more recent game, screw you. It was not a very fun game to 100%, and I didn't even 100%. I did like most of it, but there's just one thing where it was just like, no, it's way too boring. I can't take it. Gosh dang it. Taking too much unnecessary damage here. I know we were talking about earlier about games that require you to beat all levels with all characters to 100%. And Kirby Star Allies kind of has something like that. So most recent Kirby games have this mode where you play as another character and you try to go through the game as fast as you can. Like, Superstar Ultra had it first with Meta Nightmare, and then you had... Well, I don't remember all the names, but you had King DDD for Triple Deluxe, and you had Meta Knight again for Planet Robobot. And Star Allies had something very similar. Except they have a huge cast of characters because they let you pretty much ally up with all the villains of the previous games. But they let you either play as one of those villains, or they had you... Okay, what am I doing? But, Star Allies had it so that you had a mode that was like that, but it was... You go through, like, most of the game, but you had... To get true 100% of that mode, you would have had to do it as, like, every side character, every possible, like, elemental ability, partner, whatever. I don't remember what it's called, but it was so bad. And it just gets so boring after a while that I just couldn't take it. So that probably soured me quite a bit on Kirby. Like I know I'm pretty sure I'd love Forgotten Land. I just, what am I doing? I got too many other games on my list to play, and it's just, yeah. Playing real poorly today. This level keeps giving me problems. I'll yap more once I'm done with this. Because clearly I need to focus. Come on! Alright, well, I'll just keep talking. Yeah, the other Kirby games are definitely fun 100%. I definitely see myself doing it on stream at some point. One series I think I would be interested in trying 200%. There is this series of let off again. Gosh dang it! Why do I keep doing that? I'm just losing so much time. A 2.5D series that might be fun 100% at some point is the I want to say it's Noah series of games. I know I played the second one when I was younger, and I never quite finished it, but I think it would be fun to go back and play it. I don't really know what 100% of that would entail. I don't know if there's even anything different than just doing a normal playthrough of it. It'd still be probably fun to play 100%. There's definitely some unique levels in that. But I don't know. Anyways, so we already did this with Toad. Mystery House, Mad Dash again. One. Two. Three. Four. 5. 6. 'Oh boy. 7. 8. 9. 10. Okay. That's done. I guess something that would be else that would be interesting to 100%. Probably would be some of the Mario RPG games would probably be pretty enjoyable. They're not as bad as some other RPGs are when it comes to additional content bloat. Not that I don't mind the additional content bloat, but it's just that it makes things just a tad bit more tedious to do for a stream. But those games would probably be decently fun. Now, of course, there's also like varying degrees of what you consider 100% in those games. Like, is it 100% when you get all the different equipment? In which case, there might be some things, but there's a lot of bonus content that would be easy enough to do. Farming stuff for rare drops, though, that would be a bit yikes. Could I do it? Yeah. But I don't know if it would be the best content for the stream. So I may just not include those. Good job, me. Good job. Okay, done with that level. Oh, and another series I really should do at some point. The Luigi's Mansion series. Well, maybe. I say that, but to get what might be considered 100% in Luigi's Mansion 1 would probably include getting the best ending, which is possibly a bit hard if you don't know secrets. Getting all platinum frames might be also really, really difficult. Whereas, Luigi's Mansion 2 and 3 are much, much more 100% friendly, don't have really missable content. So, who knows, maybe. Luigi's Mansion 1 definitely would be debatable on whether I would 100% that. But I would absolutely 100%. Luigi's Mansion would go well in this month. Yeah, I can see that, but I'm going to stick to a schedule. I don't want it to be too long between doing Attempts of Champions Road. Of course, it's going to be quite some time already, given how long this is taking. Jeez. Probably would be reasonable if I streamed more often, but I don't really have the capabilities to stream more often right now. Oh, that's just great. Let's try not to take damage so I can still have the Super Bell. I do stuff with this Rosalina. I almost jumped off. Good job, me. I don't know why I randomly checked that one off. I guess I just pressed the wrong button. Dang it. I really need to stop doing things so suboptimally, but here we are. No, I really should avoid the timer. That way, won't have to wait as long for the timer to go down to add the score, but it is what it is. Alright, so go back to Star Wars 4. Now we just need to do all these levels as Rosalina.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Then we can move on to World 5 finally. I managed to do that skip. Skip, as if it's really much of a skip at all. But yeah, Luigi's Mansion is definitely a fun one. Well, I wouldn't necessarily do all the Scraper stuff in well, maybe I would do some of it, but definitely a lot more variable on how much of that I would actually do in 100% run. Really, it feels like 3 is the only one that's like no questions asked. You can easily do 100%. But I don't know. Alright, last time we're going to Piranha Creeper Creek. Not counting the bonus world version.
Let's go.
Let's see if I can do the challenge of beating this without losing my Super Bell. So, doing good so far. Just need to keep this up. Also, just because I'm curious. Does this count as a level clear? It does not. That was a mistake. Well, I just had to try. Well, let's go back. Go redo that whole level, because I thought maybe, just maybe, it would count as clearing the level. But it doesn't! Thanks, game.
Let's go.
Oh. Okay, and of course I get hit. Good job, me. Base Rosaline's fine anyways. Not when I do stuff like that. Can I get a Super Bell, please? Thank you. I could go up there to just run over this and skip this section, but I don't think it would actually save that much time, if any. And it's just not worth it. All right, let's keep going. No! Gosh dang it! Why do I keep doing this to myself? Come on, I can't go up there. Maybe if I go. No, alright. It'll take the long way around. Fortunately, we can just tap these guys. Do I wish to go to Nintendo Land today? I think it'd be interesting. I'm not as fond of, like, crowds, though, as much anymore ever since COVID, but it could be fun. Focus here. Gosh, dang it. Is there any, there was an item box here in the dark version, but no. Yeah, it would probably be like a decent experience, but I don't know how much. In this economy, I don't know how much I'd want to spend the money on that. Well, I could spend it on other things. Who knows, really? Alright, now we actually finished that level for real. Brolder Blockade time. Still making progress. Alright. Back to beat block Skyway.
Let's go.
Rosalina's spin is definitely going to make this much easier. But who knows? I'll find a way to mess it up probably. Let's get that flag while we're here. Not slide off, thank you. Wow, I did a re-clear without any issues. Alright, time to go to the other one.
Let's go.
This one shouldn't be too bad, of course. Hey, it would be better if I wasn't bad at the game, but go back a little. Nice and easy level. Hello there, Robert 31019. Yeah, it's definitely a fun game. It does drag on a little bit when you have to complete every level multiple times. Of course, it's better when you do it with multiplayer, but I don't really have extra controllers on me, so just gotta go through every level multiple times. But it's fine. You can do a lot worse in this game. So, let's need to focus on remembering to count. 1. 2. 3. 4. Puzzling definitely makes this stage a little easier. I think she's a little slow. 5. 6. 7. 'It's not gonna slow down by the Goombas here. 8. 9. 10. I really didn't need to take that damage there, but fine. It's fine. Right, on to the next level. Time for Spike's Lost City.
Let's go.
Thank you, Robert. Yeah, I've been having to play a lot of this. Oh, it's good that I'm at least somewhat decent at the game. Otherwise, it would be really bad. Tried to 100% it. Unfortunately, I mean, if you had to collect all the green stars as all characters, that would probably make this a bit too tedious of a process. Of course, that would be impossible since there's some green stars that are only obtainable with certain characters, but besides that, getting all collectibles again would be a bit rough. Rosalina is definitely the most interesting character to replay levels as, just because her ability to spin jump allows you to do so much, unless you're using a power up like a super bow, in which case it kind of just goes away. But other than that, all right. So just 2 more levels, and we're done with World 4. Move on to World 5. Maybe. Does it definitely feel a bit silly that they say go do all the blockades in simple enemy stages like this? But at the very least, it doesn't take very long, so it's not really much of a bother, but it's just kind of,
Fight time.
Okay, I took a hit by letting them do friendly fire. It's okay. Alright, on to Lava Lair. Not to be confused with Bowser's Lava Lair Castle. What's Lava Rock Lair? Sorry. I know I've been doing this stage several times. Alright, deploy these guys. Not gonna worry about the red coins, we got better things to do with our time. Grab that just for future cases when I take unnecessary damage, and then let's go. I really need to get better at this fight, considering I'm gonna have to do this 8 more times. They would help if I threw it into him. Thank you. Keep at it. Okay, that's not really what I was hoping for. There we go. Okay, that's World 4 fully done. We can move on. Let me just double check that I actually did. Yep, that's World 4 done. Got quite a few clues with Mario in World 5 stages. So you need to keep that in mind. Alright, so starting with Sunshine Seaside.
Okie dokie. Let's go.
This is just simple, get all the key coins. None of these have any power ups? Okay, there's one. Burning flower is not the most useful, but wait, no, there's one in here, isn't there? No, it was a green star. Okay, well, good to know for future runs of this. Grab that one. One over here. No, that's probably just a green star. Grab that one. And there we go. Now we got a quick plushie segment, and then we're done with it. First, this section is just really easy. Might as well be an auto scroll, but yeah. Alright, on to the next one. No, I'm not doing the gambling. Can do without it. I already did the status, Mario. What am I doing? Need to get more attention. Exit course, please. Thank you. Alright, this is a super quick one. It's not super quick if I do stupid things like that. Let's go the long way around. It's not that bad. It is bad if I do stuff like that, though. Really suboptimal performance for something that shouldn't be so bad. Nothing over there. Now we do the Chargin truck. Blockade is back. Well, it's fine. I didn't want to be Little Mario anyways. I do find it funny that a ground pound will kill them through their helmet. But that was suboptimal. Really need to stop doing these things suboptimally. Sprawling Savanna time. Let's grab that power up. This one shouldn't be too bad. Just need to go over to the cannon, which will make us go a bit further, faster, and then we need to... maybe it's... No, that's definitely not faster. Yeah, what am I saying? Now we just go over here. Don't bonk on stuff, please. Star is quite handy. Yep, and we can just do that. Nice and easy level that's not a pain to do multiple times. I mean, it still will be a little bit of a pain. That's just because we're doing the level multiple times over. All right, now we got this one.
Let's
You don't really need to worry about the Bob-ombs at all. And I just died for stupid reason. All right, well, let's try to not do that, please. Thank you. That, and let me get to the end of the level. Don't need to worry about the staircase. We already got the gold flag. And on we go. We already did that as Mario. We already did that as Mario. So what do we need to do? I need to take a look and see what levels there are. It is another Fire Bros hideout, I think I forgot. Or no, it's Motley Boss Blob. This just goes to some random spot, doesn't it? Nope, there's a Fire Bros hideout. Okay, Motley Boss Blob is after World 6. I think. I don't know at this point. I kind of accidentally just kicked him in the shin and he just exploded. All right, that works for me. All right, on to fight King Ka-thunk. Which shouldn't be too bad, right? King Ka-thunk's not really that difficult of a boss. Probably would be nice if I had an actual power-up. Alright, let's wait. Don't know why I grabbed that. It's fine. Don't go careening off the ledge, but please. Thank you. Alright, let's go beat up King Ka-thunk. He can't be that bad. I just need to go over here, and then he'll just make it so easy for me to go. And just like that, he's dead. Alright, World 5 feels like it was a lot better than Worlds 3 and 4. But maybe that's just copium on my part. It does not seem likely that we're going to be able to beat. Let's see. Surprise he takes damage on his weak point. Well, they need to have some way to be beatable, so the cards they have to have a. But yeah, he's just kind of like a really weird boss version of a normal enemy because, like, pretty much with the exception of stuff like stars, Ka-thunks are just completely invulnerable, and King Ka-thunk is the only one that's not, and it's just kind of like, how did he become king? But probably because the fact that he can actually think and he's a person, as opposed to the rest, which are just obstacles. But I digress. Anyways, time for doing World 5's Beach.
Hello. Let's go.
Good job, me. Dang it, Koopas. Didn't need to mess things up like this. Go here. I said go up. Thank you. Let's actually get a Koopa shell so I don't have to walk all that way. I'm doing stellar here. You know, I'm going to do this just to get the power up. Thank you. That's good enough. I know there's one on the tree there. Let's grab this one. Now we got the Plessy section. Gosh, I'm really going to need to find a list of topics to just talk about for the next few streams, because, hoo boy. I did that. No, we need to do that. Peach. Alright, let's do this one. Let's see. Because going back to the idea of 100% RPGs. So I know I mentioned the Mario RPGs. So, Superstar Saga, Bowser's Inside Story, Dream Team, all definitely very good games that I would love to 100% on stream at some point. Partners in Time, I've never played, so I don't actually know. I imagine that it's gotta be great, but I don't know. Paper Jam was... I could definitely 100% it, except for like the Papercraft battles. Getting the highest ranking on those, because those are just miserable. But it's fine. It's just not quite like the other games in terms of quality. Brothership, I have yet to play. That is one of the games that I'm probably going to play somewhat soonish. At least I'd like to think. But that one looks like it'll probably be a fun time. I don't actually know. I know it's not like necessarily as great as the previous games, but just the fact that there's another Mario and Luigi game is great. Let's see. The Paper Mario games. Probably could play Paper Mario 1. The problem is that it's definitely aged quite a lot. So it's definitely a bit rough in quality. But I think it'd probably still be good. If they ever do a remake, then that would probably be neat to do. Super Paper... Well, let's see. 1,000 Year Door. Remake is... So... I probably would be... That one probably would be enjoyable 100%. There's just a question of... I don't think I've ever gone through... the Pit of 100 trials. I mean, like, I should be capable of doing that now. But they also added 2 super bosses. And that could be troublesome. Because I don't know how good I actually was at the combat. But I mean, I could always just grind it over level, but still. Good job, me. But yeah, I think 1,000 Year Door would be pretty fun, whether it's the remake or the original. What's the... Just dang it. Super Paper Mario, I could... Pretty sure I could do that. One tap. Pow block. Thank you. Yeah. Once again, I didn't beat the... I might beat one Pit of 100 Trials. I don't think I did, though. But... that could be interesting. I know I didn't beat all the 100 battles in Samurai's Kingdom and Super Paper Mario. That would definitely be a challenge, but I'm sure I could pull it off nowadays. There's just a lot to do in Super Paper Mario. A bunch of 100 trial things. So it would definitely be a bit tedious, and it's also just straight up a different game. But I think I could probably do that. After that point, I don't know. Just because the series quality dips quite a bit. And the combat systems just become a lot less RPG-like and more just really weird gimmick. Like, Sticker Star, I don't think was that good. I could probably 100% it just fine, but I don't know if I'd actually want to play through Sticker Star is the problem. Color Splash, I have, but I just never played it. Gosh dang it. I need to pay more attention. Color Splash is again, it's another game that's just kind of like really turning Paper Mario into something gimmicky, which I don't think is where the fun and enjoyment really was with the series. Origami King, I heard the story is good, but it still has the gimmicky gameplay, so go figure. Need someone to donate a lot to me to play Sticker Star? Yeah, probably. Who knows, really? I mean, there's games I would play that instead of some other games. Just because at least it's like doable. And like mildly entertaining. It just wouldn't be the most fun, you know? Yeah, so and like Color Splash wouldn't be the worst if only because I've never played it and I have it. So like I wouldn't even need to go out of my way to play it. And it would be a new experience, even if it was a bad game. Origami King, I don't have. So I would have to actually go and buy that. And I don't know if... It just doesn't really... It doesn't feel like the Paper Mario that I love. Which is really the biggest problem with it. I could definitely do some like really great things with the Mario RPGs. It's just lately it feels like they kind of been hampered a bit. Really, it's more Paper Mario's been hampered, just because they keep insisting on the weird paper gimmicks. Which, like, while it's definitely made Paper Mario, the paper aspect, you need something to differentiate from the other stuff, but like Paper Mario and Paper Mario 1000 Year Door were great without going too much into weird battle mechanics based on paper. Not that they can't have paper stuff in there, of course. But I think they could do a little bit better. Alright, almost done with this world. Or Wes Peach. We still gotta do it. We might be able to finish it in time. No, I don't think we are. We'll get close, though. Really hoping for a lot faster progress than this. Now, I haven't played Super Mario RPG. I don't know if that's... Well, okay, I know it's good. I don't know if it would be enjoyable 100%, though. That one might be more like traditional RPGs in terms of bloat and stuff on all these side objectives. Just like, you know, flying, but not the best stream material. Okay, I really just had to go and lose that. Good job, me. Great, now I have no power-ups. Just great job by me. Ka-thunk isn't even that bad. I don't even know like what other RPGs I would play though in the stream. Like, there actually isn't a big variety of RPGs I played. It's funny that I do enjoy, but like, I've enjoyed a decent amount, but like, and I don't hate the genre or anything. I just haven't really branched out a lot, and I don't know. Might be interesting to do some random RPG series, but at the same time, bloat just would make it a bit more to do on stream. I have to wait and see. Maybe people will want to see it later. So a lot of this is a lot of what I end up doing is going to depend on when I get a bigger following. Because that will probably at least semi-dictate what I end up doing. Good job, me. Good job. This is the easy level. I almost died right there. On the topic of RPGs, I definitely do like the idea. I know that in a way this is gimmicky, but I do like the Mario and Luigi games and how for a while they pretty much innovated in having. You got here. My power up isn't wasted. Thank you. They pretty much had side characters that were playable that made the spice things up, and I think they really did some good things with that. Like, obviously, they had the baby versions of the brothers in Partners in Time, though I didn't play that game. Bowser's Inside Story was peak, and the Bowser sections were really good. Some of the best fights in the game were the Bowser fights, because they just allowed such great ideas for that. For Dream Team, of course, they had all the crazy stuff you could do with Luigi. That was pretty fun. Paper Jam, that one kind of fell a bit flat. Pun intended, I guess. Just because I almost died there. Paper Mario didn't really. I mean, I guess he did have some interesting mechanics, but. They also had the thing where there was a lot of things where like, all right, here's that enemy you just fought, but now it's a paper version of the enemy. And it's just like, really? Like one boss was, they had PD Piranha as like the first boss. And then later they had paper PD Piranha, which was, I mean, it was different, but it didn't feel as good of a boss, you know? But I know Brothership, they just have Mario and Luigi. But I hope they do continue making more games and they expand upon some of these ideas. Like, imagine having, say, Rosalina as another playable person. Or having Wario, for example. That would be something. You could also do DK. There is the problem that like a lot of these characters just aren't really present in the Mario and Luigi games. So there would be arguably some issue with that. You would love to see as Lita. I mean, yeah, the humor in those games is always pretty good. Come on, Toad, you could reach. Oh my gosh, Toad. Alright, suboptimal, but... the Galaxy games introduced so many like races of creatures that I think it would be interesting to. You have a whole population of people you could really use in a Mario and Luigi game. And I think it'd be a really cool setting. They could do some great stuff with that. Really, if there's... Why am I doing this? Well, we already did it. It's Toad. Really, if there's any like Mario Galaxy game they should make Mario Galaxy RPG. That would be fun. And I would totally want to see that. High chance I die here. Or not. Chargin Chucks just suck, I guess. Well, let's at least try to finish World 5 as Toad. And if we can't fully clear, that's a good start at least. The only problem, though, is that they have kind of worked themselves into a bit of a corner. So with Bowser's Inside Story, of course, it was the giant Bowser battles were so good that they felt the need to like more or less recreate it in every game since. And like the giant Luigi battles in Dream Team were really good, especially against giant Bowser. That was really fun. But the papercraft battles in Paper Jam really felt forced. And it didn't... What am I doing, bro? But it didn't really feel as good as the other stuff. Because Giant Luigi and Giant Bowser stuff, they were done... it was very clear that it's not something that could be done whenever you wanted. It had to be very special circumstances. Whereas with the papercraft battles, they didn't really need to be there most of the time. They kind of just said they acted like they were able to be there whenever they wanted. Which kind of begs the question, why weren't they used all the time? Now, I don't know if Brothership decides to continue the trend by having special battles or something like that. I really need to play it at some point. But if they do, then that's going to be something that they're going to probably feel inclined to just keep including the games going forward, and that may limit who they end up having as an additional person with the brothers. Which would be a bit of a shame. And would also kind of devalue the giant battles. Like the papercraft battles and Paper Jam did. I really need to play Brothership. We'll get there. I'll get to it one day. It's looking like we're not even going to finish World 5. Oh, that sucks. Good job, me. Why did I do that? Oh. At least we're not gonna grab the power this time. Clutch move on my part, for once. Okay, I don't know what I was doing there, but we're good. Go beat up the fire bros real quick. Hey, buddy. Let's just do Searchlight Sneak real quick. I really would want to just finish the whole world, but I don't think we're gonna have time for that. Or I shouldn't extend past the normal end time too much. So we'll just do Searchlight Sneak, and then we'll probably end it there for this stream. Great, now we just get a mushroom. Good job, me. Really, really making this go well. Probably should grab the game by hat and just so I can go through this section without worrying about the enemies. Not that they're like really much of a problem, but still. What am I doing? I don't need those timers! Fall off. Alright, there we go. Okay. Well, like I said, this is probably a good place to end the stream. It's not the best place, but probably decent spot to end. So yeah, we'll finish up World 5. Hopefully get through World 6 and World Castle next stream. Gosh, it could be... It's gonna take a while to finish this 100%. Just because we gotta replay so many levels. But we'll get there. That's what doing 100% means sometimes. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching. We will see you all next time, which will be Tuesday.